This is Randy from BibleBuyingGuide.com. Today I'm taking a look at the Crossway Heirloom Single Column Legacy in black goatskin. Comes in this nice little elegant box. Comes wrapped in some nice little elegant paper, which I've already taken out. And there it is. It's a goatskin edition. That is some thick leather. I love that leather. It has see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ribs. Spine ribs. Looks really elegant. Gold stamping on the spine. And a lot have complained about the amount that's on the spine. If it were me, I would go Holy Bible. I would put English Standard Version right here. And I would have the logo. And I would do away with this one and this one. But that's me. That's me. I don't complain about that. That's not a problem for me. But that's how I would do it for me. Anyway, it's leather lined. Actual leather lined. And then we have our gold decorative line. And then this is edge lined. So meaning that this leather comes up in here and has a tab, and then these end sheets are glued to it. Really nice. It's not really stiff. It kind of feels stiff right there at first, but then it will open. No problem at all, and stay open. That's no problem. It stays open easily. So in the front, we have several pages. We've got our presentation page, marriages, births, adoptions, and deaths. And it'll stay open right there. No problems at all. You don't have to fight this thing to keep it open, to use it. No issues at all. This paper is 28 GSM, which sounds bad just by thinking about the number, because people tend to think, and it's easy to think this, you tend to think that the bigger the number, the better the paper, but not necessarily. There's more to it than that. This is endopaque, which means that it's opaque for you can see through it here, but it is opaque for its thickness. And this is a really elegant paper. It's coated. And I've not gotten page curl from this paper at the exact same time that I have gotten page curl from other paper. So this is the thing about this Bible. It is a single column with the section headings taken out to the margins. And we're looking at a decent sized margin here, a little bit over an inch margin, almost an inch at the top and the bottom. So you can use this as a wide margin if you wanted to. 4-inch wide column, and then you got your poetic setting. Now, nothing looks as good as poetry in this Bible. I mean, this is beautiful poetry. Nothing looks this good. This is why I like a single column for poetry. And mainly I like a single column for its poetic settings, not necessarily for its paragraph setting, for the prose. Sometimes this can feel a little bit too wide to me. It's around 72, 74 in that range. I think 74 characters across, giving you around 14 words. My personal preference is around 10 to 12 words, but this is not too much. This is really good. It's a thin Bible. There you can see your 4 ribbons. Light brown, dark brown, black, and beige. So it is a thin Bible. It's not a thin line, but it's close, really close to a thin line. And there you can see the head tail bands, art gilt edges. So when you open this up, it's not so thick. The spine is not so thick that you lose text in the gutter. It does have enough gutter that you don't really lose it there. Maybe just a hair. That's not bad. Sometimes when I'm reading aloud, I kind of have to put my finger here to figure out where I'm at, because I'll kind of get lost a little bit. But it's not bad. That's more than anything. That's more me not being experienced with it enough. So this is a black letter edition. And I don't have any issues turning these pages, unless I'm being filmed. If I'm being filmed, then I got all kinds of problems. But yeah, this looks really good. I don't find these verse numbers hard to find. To me, they're not hard to find, because they do give a little bit of space around them. They're not bold. They are superscript, but they're easy to see. They stand out enough, but at the same time, they're not really in the way. Same goes for the numbers for footnotes, because you got footnotes at the bottom. So this is almost as good as a reader's edition, in my opinion. Almost as good as a reader's edition. The paper itself has a little bit of a cream tone, but not much. Just a little bit, and that's what I like, just a little bit. I don't have any issues. You can see I'm doing this now. I don't have any issues holding this in one hand. And then in the back, some people fold them over. You can fold this over. No problem at all. You can fold that over and read. I personally don't read that way. Some read this way. I don't like to hold the paper. That's just my personal preference. I don't like to hold the paper. Now this right here, you'll see this has a little bit of ridging there from where this ribbon was sitting, but that will smooth out over time. This will smooth out. The ribbons are thinner than some of the more like the Beresford ribbons that you see in some of the other Bibles. I kind of like that they're thin on this one, especially considering that there are 4 of them, and they don't really get in the way. A hidden one on this. Smythe sewn binding, of course. You're not going to get a Bible of this quality and it not be Smythe sewn. But in the back, we've got tables of weights and measures. A table, not tables, but a table. Weights and measures. Abbreviations, let's see. Typically, I'm at an angle right now because of the way I'm holding this camera. But typically, I just grab these and rub these together, and it has no problem separating and opening, turning pages. So, table of weights and measures, then you get your concordance. Now, these, you also find this information in the footnotes in the footer. But it covers the biblical unit and the biblical equivalent. 2-column concordance. Quite a bit of information in here. It's not as large as the older edition, if I remember correctly. But one thing I like about this is that it is also in wide margin. So if you do decide to write in this thing, you can write here as well. I might be wrong with it being different. It might be exactly the same as the older. I am wrong. It was the older, the one I'm thinking of is a different Bible. And then here you have you can see the shine there. This paper here has no glare whatsoever. You can shine a light directly on this and have no glare. The map's a different story. These are glossy, thick paper, super thick paper, but they're a little bit hard to see because of how shiny they are. These are subdued colors. I do like a little bit more color than this, but these are nice. These are nice maps. And they include typography, distance, routes, dates, scripture references, events. A little bit of topography here. Rivers, cities. A lot of stuff in there. And they cover the world of the patriarchs. So I'm even having trouble turning this at this angle I'm standing. Exodus from Egypt, 12 tribes of Israel. Israel under Saul, David, and Solomon. Jerusalem in the time of Jesus. Palestine at the time of Jesus. Paul's first and second missionary journeys, and Paul's third missionary journey and his voyage home. And then several end sheets. Now these thick end sheets give it structure. I'm glad that they put these here. I do like that. And then that's it. Nice Bible. Not too large. It's not a small Bible, but it's not too large. It's thinner than the original. Let's see, we're looking at, there's my scale. We're looking at 9 and almost 3/4 by 6.5 inch and 1/8, something like that. Now notice I'm measuring the cover. Why do I measure the cover when publishers give you the size of the text block? The reason I do that, I give you the overall size. Because if you're buying a Bible case It doesn't matter to you how big the text block is. You need to know how big the cover is, because the cover is what's going to go inside the case. I love that grain. Beautiful grain. Beautiful. Now, speaking of the original, here is the original. And you can see the original is a lot thicker. Quite a bit thicker. Maybe a 1/4 inch. I'm just guessing. I wouldn't say quite a bit, but. And then where this has the 28 GSM, this one has 36 GSM. And this paper is easy to turn. It's really nice. This is more opaque than this one is. This is opaque enough. It could be more opaque. That, that's just the way it is. But for 28 GSM, this is really opaque. It's really elegant paper. No page curl with that one too, so I'm liking that. But that's the main difference between them, is the paper, and of course the cover. But nice Bible. Let's compare it to another one. This is called the Heritage, Singel Column Heritage, and the font is about the same size, really close. Of course, this Bible is a lot smaller. Now this one is made in China, whereas this one is made in the Netherlands by Youngblood. Some of my favorite Bible builders there are in existence. So Singel Column Heritage, quite a bit thicker. Not built as nicely either. Cheaper paper. But still a nice Bible. Easy to carry and hold. So you get what you pay for most of the time, not always. This one is an expensive Bible though. But this is also available in a cheaper binding. Let's compare to a Clarion, an ESV Clarion. Now, I've heard that the newer editions have the same paper as the Singel Column Legacy. The Legacy is the 28 GSM Endopaque. This one, if I remember the names correctly, this might be Endotherm or something like that. This one is the older paper. This is one of the earlier editions. I don't know if it's first edition. I think it is, though. And it has more page curl. You'll get page curl with this when you don't get it with this. In fact, I had page curl with this one this morning when I was doing photography, helping Hannah with her photography. This one had no page curl, and this one had a lot of page curl. Now, that was this morning from the fan that was above. It's raining here, and it's dry inside. And if you have dry air, then it'll cause page curl if the tension across the sheets is not correct. But anyway, nice Bible. Give you an idea of how thick they are. And that tells the story about the Clarion right there. Clarion is thick for its height. It's really thick. It's a smaller, definitely a smaller footprint. I love the footprint. I love the way the Clarion works. It's a really nice Bible. This one is more elegant as far as its design, because the 4-inch, whereas this one has 3.5. But still, this is a nice Bible. Really nice Bible. But that's what they look like compared. To give you an idea of the size, there is the turquoise. The Cambridge turquoise is about the same size. Just about the same size as the Singel Column Legacy. Really close. Really close to the same size. But now, Singel Column uses more space for the poetic settings. And that's why the Singel Column will have a smaller font than a double column. Especially considering a verse by verse. Specifically verse by verse. There's one more Bible I want to compare to. Here's the KJV equivalent. This is the New Cambridge Paragraph. Now, the New Cambridge Paragraph doesn't have as good a paper. It's thicker paper, though. This is 31 GSM, whereas this is 28. This is more elegant paper than this one is. You can see the show-through is about the same, I guess. But this is a coated feel, whereas this is a rougher feel. That's just more elegant paper. But the font size is about the same. Really close. Really close. And you can see this doesn't line match. This is line matched. Sometimes the line matching, though, will cause the text to look gray because, you know, you got a dark line behind it. And the real fix is to have opaque paper. Unfortunately, that's not always possible. So they do line matching, and this is what it looks like when you don't have line matching. The text of these are about the same size. This actually might be a taller text. But this one, of course, has the little inch plus margin on the outside. This is the same size as a long primer. Text block, not the cover. The text block is. So that gives you an idea of the sizing there. I do love these. I do love this Bible and this Bible. They're both really good. One more Bible. Let's compare to another heirloom. This is a thin line heirloom version of the Omega. The Heirloom Omega. The Omega is thinner, but it has the same footprint. Practically the same footprint for all intents and purposes. So where we have our single column with a 9-point font with about a 10, I'm just guessing on the numbers, I don't remember exactly, 9 with about a 10 leading. This one has a 10-point font with about a 10.5, or I need to look up those numbers. I'll put them in the notes. Actually, the information will be in the written review. But this is the difference in single column and double column poetic settings. But this is a really nice looking Bible. Same paper, 28 GSM, Endopaque. Really nice. About the same size, about the same footprint. Elegant. Now I did receive this in exchange for an honest review in both written and video formats. You'll see the written review. I'll post a link at the bottom of this where you'll see more photos and you'll see a lot more detailed information about the specs of the thing and my opinions and impressions of using it. So please visit BibleBuyingGuide.com for more information. If you have any questions, post here and I will answer.